I wanted to kind of follow up with that question, a question about collaboration, because you mentioned, this kind of unique deal that you have as students bring more creative people. With the other schools, oftentimes students here, one thing that we really try to encourage them to do, which can be a little bit difficult, is to not try to do everything themselves, not just be a director that's working completely alone and be in control of everything, which can be a little bit difficult for some of our students that are very creative and want to actually take the reins. How does collaboration work in filmmaking at your particular programs, and do you allow for students to kind of go off and do their own thing, or are they guided into building like a group of crew members and people that they can work with? Are they steered that way, or what direction do you encourage or provide?
Let's just go with USC.
You pretty much have to work in a group. You can't go off and do anything on your own. Every class is set up. I think the smallest group is 2 people, but even then you need a crew. A lot of our students will volunteer to crew this experience, so volunteers for rep or VP or something. So that's just in production. But in the school itself, because we have the 5 programs, if you need a script, you work with a writer. You're going to need some animation. You're going to work with animation students. With that, so you're going to work within all those programs, which is important to our structure. But more importantly than that, you're going to be working with those students. You're also going to take classes in those units. So if you're production students, you're going to take visual effects in the animation area. We want you to know the different areas. We want you to know interactive. Interactive and production that's the next big thing. So we want you to understand those other areas as well. So we said holistic earlier, we talked a lot about our model. It's changed in the last couple of years where our programs really cross over more and more. You have your specialty, but you do cross over. And as a result, you are working with everybody else. The thing that I don't like to hear is when an animation student says, oh yeah, so-and-so from the production group walked in and just screamed, I need an animator. We've done away with that. So now that they're working together as a group, that's the real road. You have to know every part of the scene that works to be good at what you do. So collaboration, just even getting along is a skill.
Sure.
You know.
Yeah.
Getting along in a group is half the battle. So we really work on that in our classes as well. Is how do you be a leader and a follower, and how do you do it successfully from both sides?
And appreciating what everybody on the set does. I think that sometimes we struggle with this at our school as well, where we have a conservatory that visual arts that does animation. We also have a production and design conservatory that does theater tech, costume, makeup, set construction. It's very easy for us to think, and for our students to think, I need somebody to build my my whatchamacallit, I need somebody to design my costumes. Let me grab one of those students and have them fulfill my vision for me. Being able to kind of respect what the other person is bringing, and realizing that it's a collaboration, that they also are bringing something unique to the table as well, and that's why you're hiring them in the future. That's why you work with someone. It's not just so that you can dictate to everybody what it is that has to be done, but you really want to be able to feel like they're going to go off and really enhance what it is that you'd like to do and bring their own talent to it. And so it's something that even at this level we work on as well, because it can be very easy to get kind of the dictator director mentality that this is my movie and everybody needs to do what I say. And it doesn't work that way. I mean, you find it very quickly that it's very, very easy to alienate people, and then you don't have anybody working with you. And when you get a bad reputation in this industry, it's difficult to shake off. And that can start at school and go from there. UCLA, if you could kind of talk about the collaborative nature of your program.
So collaboration is fundamental. One of the things that we really look for actually when you come in for an interview if you're invited is your ability to be a team player, your ability to communicate off paper, to engage in conversation, to be friendly. Those things that they seem so basic, yet you'd be surprised. There's some really talented filmmakers out there who don't work well with other people, or who can't convey a message by just having a conversation. So they don't belong at UCLA. We're very small. Every person matters, and that means every personality matters. So when we're looking for our cohort, they have to all work together, which is something we sort of mentioned earlier. Even if they're a CMS student or critical media studies student, everyone works on each other's films. It's just the way that it is. And what you'll find is that you continue to work with them, not just for assignments and not just at UCLA, but when you graduate and you move on and you're working in the industry. A director from what's become a very popular movie series called Twilight actually went to UCLA, and her DP she went to school with at UCLA, and you know, some 20 years later they're working together to make this series. I think you guys have probably heard about it, but anyway, so that's just, you know, to illustrate the fact that collaboration and teamwork is really, really fundamental in the filmmaking process, especially for our school.
Thank you. What about Long Beach?
Well, I just wanted to echo what's been said. So, this is a collaborative business. We are in the College of the Arts, so we have sister departments, like I said that way, of design, music, dance, art, and theater arts. And so we have a lot of talent to draw from. But it's important to be a mensch, to be able to relate to people with respect, and to treat them the way you like to be treated, or you're not going to be able to draw upon their talents. This is all toward building professional relationships, because media production is all about professional relationships. We find that our students work on each other's films, DP, the sound recording, the mix, and the sound design, and the costuming, and the lighting, whatever. And then after they graduate, they're still in touch with each other. And when a job comes up, they're on the phone calling their classmate. I'm working over here now, but I just heard about this over there. You interested? They use Facebook, they use social media to keep themselves in touch with each other and share information. So people who know how to get along with other people do get on in the business. And I think that's one of the things that we try to nurture. And I think we do a commendable job.
Thank you. And then Chapman versus.
Well, obviously, we love collaboration, and you know, with the same kind of philosophy with everyone else. And I think it's important just to, when you're making a film or even a television show or an animated feature or whatever, you need to look at the whole process of it. So you're going to come across most likely a screenwriter, and then you're going to need a cinematographer, and you need an editor, and you're going to need people to work with you. And then even beyond that, once you have that, you're going to need someone there to help market your film and look at that. And that's something that we really focus on as our public relations and advertising majors. They actually create a marketing campaign for our senior thesis films. So it's even looking beyond that and looking to the marketing and those people and forming those bonds so you can take your project all the way through and be able to really work on it. And like I said, those relationships are what's, you know, going to make it, you know, and when you get into your professional world, which is kind of the goal of all this, is that hopefully you'll get a job when you graduate. Is those are, you know, going to be the connections that you're going to keep, and you know, be able to use them for job opportunities, and you know, really be able to. I mean, I know I've had people call and ask me questions before too. You know, oh, you were in public relations, so can you, you know, I'm trying to promote my film at this film festival. What would you do? And you know, just being able to keep them there as kind of that consultant is also a really useful thing as well. So the more people you have in your arsenal to be able to use and pull out when you need to, the better off you're going to be, no matter if it's now or 20 years in the future when you're, you know, getting an Oscar, you know. It's kind of just keeping that all in perspective.